definitely shapes up for a really cracking Lakoseljac Cup Grand Final next Monday. It's also the FFA Cup qualifier. Tasmania has one spot, and the winner of this goes into that national tournament, which is in its first year this year. We caught up with both coaches a little earlier just to preview next week's game.
Well, welcome Ken and Jed ahead of a huge final on Monday. Jed, we'll start with you. Huge performance, huge win on Saturday. How will you guys back it up this weekend in this Monday, in such a big game?
Well, it was a good defensive performance, and we have to back that up. Everyone has to do their job. South Hobart got the two leading strikers, two leading goal scorers in the league, so we'll have to play our best football.
Yeah.
Given last week's result, South Hobart obviously going to be hungrier than ever. Zebra's going to be hungry for the contest on Monday?
I hope so. It's our second final of the season, and we were disappointing in the Summer Cup final, so this is a chance to try and put it right.
We keep coming back to obviously the losses of John O'Laddick and Joel Stone, and you covered that quite well with Curran coming into the midfield over the weekend. Are there going to be any team changes through the midfield this weekend? Maybe Ethan getting another start as well?
Yeah, Ethan. We won't look to change too much. We'll look to try to improve. Current Ferns is cup-tied, so okay. we are looking for one replacement in the middle of the park, and so that will be decided on the training ground over the coming week.
Now, your form this season in the league's been a bit topsy-turvy. Wins against some big names, and then losses against teams you would have penciled in wins for. On Monday, do you think you can sort of stick to the form that you put out on the weekend?
I think, well, our performances have been pretty steady. The results have been up and down, and perhaps thinking that you're going to be successful against a team is the wrong approach. You have to play well against the top teams, and you have to play just as well against the teams that aren't at the top of the table. Nobody's going to give you a pass. I think Ken said earlier that every team wants to knock off the champions. Every team raises their game, and we certainly do. But I think Zebras are one of those teams that people like to beat as well.
You touched on it a little bit earlier. In recent times, the Zebras team have fallen on the big stage. Last year in the Lakoseljac Cup, this year in the Summer Cup. Can you put that to bed with a win on Monday?
I think we just have to put in a good performance for 95 minutes. Everyone has to turn up and do their job. I mean, this is an opportunity to bounce back from the Summer Cup final. People should take that opportunity.
And Ken, as for you, you were adamant over the weekend that you guys hammered the Zebras. That's what you said post-game. How will you go about getting a better result on Monday?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we hammered them. I thought in terms of football, we play very good football. I think Zebras work very hard defensively. They close the spaces down well and give us very little space to play in. And it was a good performance by them, and they played well on the counter-attack. Yeah. Our possession was good. I was quite happy with that. Just needs to be a bit quicker service into the front players and the wide players. So that's what we'll work on. We'll just work on preparing our attacks and trying to get in behind the Zebras' defence.
On the weekend, you conceded that you lacked a bit of the cutting edge in the front third. How will you correct that going into Monday?
Well, you know, sometimes the ball falls for you. I think the ball fell for Zebras in and around the areas. I mean, Albie's break came off a missed kick from Kurt, and he smashes it in the back of the net. And he's one-on-one with the keeper and normally scores. So those things can reverse themselves. So it's important for us to keep working away at what we do best, and that's playing good open football, good possession football, and just try and wear Zebras down and try and get in behind them and take our opportunities.
It was an exciting prelude to the game on Monday over the weekend. How will you go about changing the squad in terms of positional changes perhaps?
No, not at all. I'm very happy with the structure. The only change we'll have will be fullback. Okay. Jaden Hay is like current cup tie, okay, so he won't participate. We're a little bit undercooked at the moment with injuries, so we're just waiting, or we will wait until Saturday before we finalise the team. The squad is named, and we're quite happy with the balance of that. And it's really just working on our structure now to get things right. And maybe we don't want to be suffering like we did this last game on the counter-attack. So maybe we have to make preparation for that.
Are the Zebras defenders a problem? Do they pose a problem as well? They played quite well over the weekend.
No, I think they had a good game. They're good defenders, and you know, you're there. It's your job to break them down. We have good forward lines. Joshie Williamson turns up with 3 goals on Sunday. Harrison Thomas gets 2, so we've got enough forwards to choose from, and the forwards who are scoring goals will get opportunities.
Now, last year you tasted a bit of a national competition with the NPL Final Series. Does the promise of an entry into the FFA Cup play on your mind going into this encounter?
I don't think so. I think it's, as always, another game, an important game, which for South Hobart nowadays, every game is important. It's like a cup final for the opposition. It's another game for us, and our players have got to be self-motivated to pick themselves up, dust themselves down, and go out and play some creative football.
Thanks for joining us, both of you.
Cheers, guys.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now that the coaches are out of the room, Alex, time for our tips.
Yeah.
Huge game on Monday. Who do you like for it?
Mate, I struggled with this one. I really have, but I'm going to go with the Zebras. I reckon they're going to get Lightning to strike twice in the same place, KG5. They'll be into the FFA Cup. What about you, mate?
Huge call,
Yeah.
especially with Ferns out from their side last
Yeah.
week. South Hobart for mine. I think they'll be fired up. They'll be ready to go. And this week, the Strikers will find a way through that defence, and I reckon they'll win comfortably. I'm tipping about 3 or 4-0.
Fair point, mate. Fair point.
The other big match on Monday, at Queen's Birthday at KG5 from 12:30, is the Statewide Women's Cup, Alex.
Yeah.
Olympia FC Warriors, who have been, I guess, the top of the tree down here for a
Yeah.
few years in the women's game, and Ulverston, who are a great side from
Yeah.
up in the northern competition. Who do you like?
Oh, mate, Olympia, they're fresh off a 10-0 thumping of the Glenorchy Knights on Sunday. Huge win. I reckon they'll just be too good. They'll roll Ulverston completely. I reckon 4 or 5-0.
Yeah, I'm going with Olympia as well. I think there's a bit of doubt whether Georgia Foote will take her place in the side, and she's the main spearhead for the Ulverston Reds. So I have to go with Olympia for that one. But it should be a very interesting clash
Definitely,
at KG5,
yeah,
I think.
It should be.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Looking forward to a big day of football at KG5 on Monday. Get along. It all starts from 10 with the social games, and then you've got games going the whole way through.
Huge day, mate. Huge day of football. Get around to KG5.